Well, this will be my first video for 2024. I'd like to take a couple minutes and just thank everybody for all the people who have been watching and subscribing. Getting real close to 1,500 subscribers, and I really appreciate it. Also appreciate the comments, questions. Some people have been emailing me stuff. Got to meet a lot of nice people doing this. So I wanted to just thank everybody for that, first of all. And also, I wanted to make a video last week over the holidays, but you probably can tell from my voice that I got sick. I got the flu. I've been in the house almost all week. I haven't done anything. I just started feeling a little bit better today, so I thought I would come up here and get started on it a little bit. I think what we're going to do today is I'm trying to clean up this front engine plate or repolish it. While everything is off, it's easy for me to get in here. And before I go ahead and put the blower and the injector hat on. Next couple projects with the car, like I had mentioned earlier video, is, well, first I need to adjust the valves on it. I want to take the headers off, the zoomies off, replace the gaskets. I got a leak on 1 or 2 cylinders. And I'm going to order the new oil pan gasket from Canton. So I'm going to pull the oil pan, maybe pull a bearing or two and see how, just check how it looks inside there. Also, while I'm talking here, I wanted to show you this. I ordered the gasket for the blower from the blower shop, which is where I got my blower from. And look at this. The gasket was $24.01 for the gasket. They charged $36.50 for UPS ground. I mean, it's getting ridiculous. There's shipping companies, I guess, with everybody buying stuff online, the shipping costs are almost always more than the cost of the product. It's getting ridiculous. So, anyway, I got a couple other things going on I wanted to talk about real quick. I made a video a couple weeks ago about RC boat racing, and I just wanted to show you quick. I built this boat 40 years ago, and I'm going to make some more videos about it in racing. But I've been, well, before I got sick, I had been working on that, working on the car. And one other thing I wanted to show you is real quick. I got another project that I've been wanting to do. I want to build a Model T, a C-cab pickup truck, Model T rat rod. And it's a long story. I don't want to get into it now, but I met a guy that had an engine sitting around, and I ended up with this 235 straight 6 Chevy motor. It's a 1955 engine, and I still got my T-bucket frame sitting outside from my old frame before I built the new one that the car is sitting on now. So I'm trying to look for a bunch of people who are donating parts. Anything I can get cheap, put it together. It's not going to be a show car, more like a rat rod type deal. But I'm looking for, I got a front axle. I got to find me a rear end and some spindles and hubs for the front. But anyway, that's a project I hope to get started on real soon, but we'll see how that goes. Well, again, I appreciate everybody watching. I appreciate all the subscribers. Let me see here if I can get this plate cleaned up, and then I'll go ahead and do some filming and put the blower and the fuel injection system all back on it. Well, before I can put this thing back together, I had to trim the gasket. The blower gaskets, they come in one size. They'll fit anything from a 671 all the way up to a 1471. Like I had mentioned, I think in my earlier video, the only difference between like a 671, 871, or 1471 is the blower gets longer. It's the same size housing, really, just it's a longer housing with longer rotors. So you can see here there's about 3/4 of an inch extra on this side, and on this side here is probably what, 2.5 inches extra. I guess you would use the whole gasket if it was a 1471. But they tell you to trim it so it don't stick out and it won't look that bad. So let me get this trimmed up, and then I'll be able to start putting it back together. Well, as you can see here, I went ahead and trimmed up the gasket to match the spacer. It's upside down right now, so this will be the bottom gasket. I also went ahead and finished polishing the front engine plate I told you while I had it all apart. So let me see if I can get the camera set up, and we'll see if we can get the blower back on and continue on from there. I had said earlier, the studs are aluminum. So I put some never sees on the end of the threads, being aluminum going into aluminum, so I don't have no problem later on. I got a little hex on the top, but you could put a socket on, just snug them up. They don't really tighten them, just till they bottom out. I'm gonna go ahead and get a torque wrench. The bolts are, these nuts on the aluminum studs, they're supposed to be torqued down to 12 foot-pounds. Like I said, it's aluminum. They don't get tightened down very tight. And the pattern calls for starting in the center and working your way out back and forth on the opposite sides. Let me see if I can move this camera a little bit. Give me some room to do it. Well, as you can see, I got the blower on. And damn thing's heavy. I swear, I bet you it's just under 100 pounds. I hope you could have seen in the video, but once I got all 8 studs in, there's very, very little movement as far as the blower, like left or right, or trying to get it lined up with the bottom. What I did is I always had it lined up here with the intake, the plate that it mounts on the intake. I keep it lined up with that. There's a tiny little play. You can move it a little bit. You really can't move it front to back at all. But anyway, we got it torqued down, and it's spinning free, so we're good there. But while I'm talking about the blower, I'm in a lot of groups and chat things on Facebook, I guess, with a lot of clubs and different stuff. And I hear a lot of people talking about lining the blower, the belt alignment. Well, you can see on mine, a Ford especially, with the distributor being in the front, has a really long snout. To clear the distributor, it has to clear a timing cover, and then normally there'd be a water pump here. Well, in my situation, I'm not running a timing cover. This 3/8 aluminum plate that I mounted the engine with is acting as an engine mount and a timing cover. So there's oil behind this plate. There's a gasket back here to seal, around the timing chain for the oil. Now with the long snout being out there, the problem is, like I said, getting it lined up. In my situation, I was 3/8 of an inch off with the alignment. In other words, I had to either go back with this 3/8 of an inch, which I can't do. They make the snout shorter, but I believe they go in like 1-inch increments, like a 5-inch, 6-inch snout, 5 or 4-inch snout. There's no such thing as like a 5 3/8 inch snout. So what I had to do, I had to space this pulley out 3/8 of an inch. Well, if I run a single V-groove pulley for the alternator, it was in too far. So what I did was I went and bought a 2-groove V pulley with 2 grooves in it, then sent it to the machine shop and had 3/8 of an inch cut off the back. So you can see, I don't know if you can see or not. You can see the groove from the front side, but the back side is missing. Now, there's holes in this pulley that match up for a blower. And the Innovative West harmonic balancer I have, has bolt holes set up to match the pulley, so that everything bolts together and this sandwich is in there. So in my case, I'm not running no spacers. There's no spacer up here at the top, and I'm using the pulley machined down as a spacer to take care of the bottom. I know some people say that you can run them without a harmonic balancer because the belt takes up the vibration, but I knew the car was going to be on the street, and I just felt more comfortable putting a balancer on it. I mean, like you said, you could have put a hub on it, would have been a lot shorter, and then moved the pulley in a little bit, but you would have had to figure it out. It'd probably be a bunch of measuring and calculating, trying to get that set up to work. So, well, let me see here if I can get the intake injector hat on quick. I want to try to get the top of the motor closed. I don't like leaving it open. And let me see if I can get to work on that. Well, as you can see from the video, it's pretty easy. Putting the injector hat on, there's 4 studs and just the 4 bolts hold it down. Everything else, as far as the throttle linkage, the distribution block, the barrel valve, everything on there is connected to the injector hat. So it all just comes off as one piece. Makes it really simple. I think I'm gonna end the video here. Next video, I'll put on the fuel pump, the lines, put the blower belt back on. Like I said, I still need to adjust the valves. I'm gonna pull the oil pan off of it, and I gotta replace the exhaust gaskets on the Zoomies. I got two of them leaking. Well, appreciate everybody watching. Don't forget, like, subscribe, and hopefully we'll see you again soon.